Welcome back to the Stirling Business Podcast, brought to you from Studio King Street. Today I've got a wonderful guest, Maggie Gorman, who is Director of Business Support and Development for Ceteris.
Correct.
And we're going to hear all about Ceteris and what Maggie does for businesses in the Forth Valley. So Maggie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am absolutely delighted to be here. We've had many conversations, Neil, haven't we? So it's good to firm it up.
And you've made lots of great connections for us. In fact, we've had some of those in today, actually.
Yes.
The likes of Karen Somerville. So we'll be hearing her podcast very soon. And many others like Stephen Cornwallis, guest of the show, Graham from Muckle Fudge. So,
yes, that's right.
So the serial networker in action, connecting us all together. So
it's just because I like a good blather.
You do like a good blather. So anyway, so thanks for coming along. So Why don't we hear a little bit about Maggie first and your background, and then we'll get specifically into Ceteris.
Okay, I hate talking about myself. Rather talk about Ceteris. So Maggie Gorman. So my background is steeped in. So I did kind of business and law at university. Came out of that, set up my own business as a business consultant. Developed that business from just a legal consultancy into leadership training. Worked with businesses on kind of culture change. A variety of different things. It was an associate model, so I only had 2 or 3 employees, but we brought in people as and when we needed them so that we could apply for a variety of different consultancy projects. Mm-hmm. Sold that business. I was acquired by a consultancy business in England who wanted a foothold in Scotland, and then went on to set up another business, which was an interior design and furniture business, never having done interior design in my life.
Bit random from legal services.
Random, I know. Well, I know, but I had always had this passion for interior design, and I thought, can I turn this into a business? So we did. It was a tough gig, I have to say, a tough nut to crack. But we did. We managed to go into profit at the end of our first year. Long story cut short, I ended up going to America for 5 years. My husband's job took us out there. Worked with some high-end property investors out there. Brought that ethos back to Scotland when I came back.
West Coast, East Coast?
Exactly. Did quite a lot of work in Edinburgh, actually, with some investors out there, off-market stuff. They were just looking for property. We would approach off-market, and it was residential with a wee bit of commercial. And then I was approached. I worked at Step, actually, for a couple of years. I know that you've had Alan in. Yeah. So Alan used to be part of my team. Worked at Step as heading up the kind of business support, business gateway side there, and then was approached to move over to Ceteris, and the rest, as they say, is history. Here I am.
Right, so Ceteris, Forth Valley based.
Yeah.
Where are its origins, is it?
Origins are in Clackmannanshire in Alloa. So Ceteris was established back in 1984, December 1984. And it came out of the decline of the industry at the time. So the industry around that time is coal mining, textiles, the mills.
Some breweries there as well.
Breweries, exactly. And some distilleries. But that was in decline, and Ceteris was born out of that decline in that particular industry. It started off as, I think it was Clackmannanshire Enterprise, it was called back in the day, and it was gifted a property by the council at the time. And the kind of history behind that was that they were there to support the rebirth of new business. And that has continued. That's our mission. Ceteris' mission is still to, it's economic growth, and it's economic growth, delivered through, I guess, it's environmental and social impact, really, or social change. And so today, Ceteris now has, so we just kept acquiring property, and we continue to deliver our business support, which is our social impact part of the business, social purpose part of the business. So currently, we have 21 properties across 10 sites.
That's across the Forth Valley.
Across Forth Valley, mainly in Clackmannanshire, but we do have property. We've got the Falkirk Business Hub in Falkirk, of course, and we've got Springfield House at Laurel Park Business Centre in Stirling. Yeah. And the other sites are around Clackmannanshire. So roughly, I think we've got about, if my memory serves me right, it's about 270,000 square feet of property.
Right. Is that predominantly business centre space, or is it a mix of different commercial properties?
Question. It's all commercial. It's made up of serviced office space, industrial units, so small and large industrial units, co-working space. But also we run some virtual offices for solo entrepreneurs who are looking for a business address but work from home. So we do quite a lot of virtual and co-working, as well as the serviced office and industrial units. I think I've covered everything there.
Okay. So your role at Ceteris as Director of Business Services and Development. Got it right that time?
Yeah.
So what does that involve?
So good question.
Everything.
It is. We are the only commercial landlord in Scotland, I believe, to have a social purpose. That social purpose is delivered through our business support. So what does that mean? It means that we work with not just our tenants, but with businesses in the areas that we serve. We help them to start their business in the first place, but we also help them to scale their business. And our function, therefore, is we've got the Business Gateway contract in Clackmannanshire. We've had that it's coming up for 21 years. So I'd be hoping now that we kind of know what we're doing with Business Gateway. So we've had that contract for 21 years. But the other side of the business support is through our Emerge branding. Everything that's not Business Gateway is Emerge. And we run a number of startup programs for entrepreneurs who are wanting to start their business. We run accelerators for growth to help those businesses grow. And we do one-to-one advisory support as well. But also contained within that, we run a business week every year, which I'm going to talk to you about later on, hopefully get you involved this year. Forth Valley Business Week, 14th of September this year. And we're across Forth Valley. We invite partners to get involved. The Chamber will be involved as usual this year, Forth Valley Chamber with Lynn. Some of our tenants get involved, some of our businesses that we're working with. I mean, we had over 600 people attending our events last year, so it's busy and it's a lot of work. I've got a small team, small and mighty. We work really hard.
And that's your remit?
That's my remit. It's to oversee, it's to develop those services for entrepreneurs. Starting or growing in a nutshell, that's what my responsibility is, but also to, look at corporate social responsibility, work with businesses to help them. Maybe they're interested in sponsorship, in sponsoring. So we work. My role is to get out there strategically, to build the strategy, to build those services for business support, so we can take over the world, Neil.
So how big is your team that you have then?
There's 5 of us, including myself.
Right. Okay.
And they're not all full-time. So, we work hard.
So you touched on a couple of other business service functions, like the chambers, for example.
Yes.
Do you do anything with CodeBase specifically?
We do. We have a partnership agreement with CodeBase. So what that means is that we work in partnership with them to co-deliver some of the events. Like, for example, February last year, we ran what was called a MedTech expo.
I remember that.
Medical tech. We used one of our offices out at one of our buildings out at Forester Lodge in Alloa to deliver that. And it was well attended. 80 people came along, and it was NHS, health service, but all around tech. And that was TechScaler and CodeBase and Ceteris developed that as a partnership, very successful. Yeah, so we're hoping to do something similar again.
And with other groups, obviously, I can see the interaction and what you do with the chambers, the Forth Valley Chambers with Lynn.
Yes.
Who's also been a friend of the show. She's been on as well.
Yes.
But what about other functions like business improvement districts? Do you do much with the Clacks bid or any of the other bids for that matter?
We do, because I know you've had Danielle on talking about Stirling. So I actually sit on the board for Alloa First, which is the bid in the Clackmannanshire area. Kevin Deacon heads that up.
Okay.
And we work with Kevin to, again, support those. It's mainly the bid in Clackmannanshire is a bit different from the other bids because it's split into two halves. It's the town centre, which is headed up by Diane Brown. And that's Alloa First. And then you've got the industrial part because there's quite a lot of industrial units out in Clackmannanshire. So it's split into two. And I sit on the board on the industrial side with Kevin. And we work together. We work very closely to try and support those businesses. And the bid offers some fantastic opportunities. Good funded opportunities for the recycling, and they do a good job.
Brilliant. Okay, so I know you're really passionate about entrepreneurship, right? Every time we have a conversation, it kind of comes up in the discussion. In particular, women in entrepreneurship. So you tell us a little bit about whether Ceteris do anything in that space, or what you're driving as an initiative in that area.
So, again, under our Emerge branding, we run it's a community of female founders, female entrepreneurs. And this started 4 years ago as a small group of women basically just getting together to support each other. We tried to get some funding for it. We were successful through Scottish Government and Clacks Council, and that's now grown arms and legs. I think we've got upwards of 500 followers now through our Facebook page.
Wow!
And we run events. It's called Emerge Women, and it's basically we try and do one a quarter. And we invite a speaker in to come and speak. And it could be someone within the community that's had challenges that they've tried to overcome. And the group of women all work together to support that business. But we sometimes get external speakers coming in talking about topical things like the changes, for example, in the HR, legislation, laws, things like that. So we support kind of female founders through that process. And as part of that, one of the things that we've recently developed in the autumn of last year is a thing called Skillshare. And Skillshare is basically, it's born out of a lot of the density of business, the business density in Clackmannanshire is made up of about 85% micro businesses. And that's businesses that employ 1 to 9 people. And a lot of these businesses can't afford... They've not got big budgets, so they can't afford to bring in people to market, marketeers or, branding specialists or HR specialists. So we noticed that gap in the market and we've developed Skillshare. It's basically a bartering system. You pay a membership fee, £120 for the year, so it's not expensive. It's less than a coffee a month. You pay that membership fee and you get 7 tokens. And those 7 tokens allow you...
So you'd be a small business, pay for 7 tokens, and you can tap into...
Each token's worth half an hour of expertise.
Okay.
You can tap into other members that are in the forum. You can tap into their expertise. So it's a bartering system, really.
Right.
But it makes that skill, that access to that expertise and skills very affordable for the businesses.
Right, okay. So you might just need a 30-minute strategic discussion around marketing or HR strategy or... That'll get you off. And can you then engage with that particular organisation if you wanted to?
You can, yeah. And if they're a member, then you get subsidised and discounted rates. That's part of the benefits of being a member. Is that
a subset of the business gateway services then?
No, it's Ceteris. It's a Ceteris programme. Okay. But we get members, we get clients from Business Gateway wanting to be part of that because they see the benefit of of that opportunity to access that expertise for little to no cost.
Yeah, because I guess the Business Gateway services, from the Stirling perspective, that's kind of how they provide those types of
and Business Gateway services are all fully funded. They're all free to the end user. The only thing that would cost you is your time.
Right.
We try with Ceteris, our Ceteris Emerge services, we try and make that fully funded, but we can't always. Sometimes we have to have a membership or a subscription to cover costs, marketing costs, promotion costs, my time to run the program, that kind of project manage it, that kind of thing.
So under the Emerge brand, we talked about the female entrepreneurship. Are there any other programs that sit underneath that
Emerge,
brand?
Yeah. Yes, we have. We're just about to launch our 5-year strategy for business support. I've been busy beavering away in the background, trying to write that up. So we will have 7 pillars in our new strategy. It's a kind of jumping off platform, if you like, for us to grow those services, those kind of, some are Emerge branded services. Some are just building on some of the things that we've done already through our strategic partnerships, like with CodeBase and TechScaler or the Chamber, for example. But yes, there are other programs. So we ran last year, it was a growth accelerator called Unlocking Potential. Helen, that you met today, Helen Potter, helped us to deliver the innovation part of that programme. We were very lucky that we applied for and received money from Scottish Government, UK Share Prosperity, to do that. And again, that was supported by Clacks Council. We've got a very good relationship with our local authority. That does help.
Yeah. It's the smallest one in Scotland as well, right?
It's the smallest one. Small and mighty, I think, is their mantra. But, everything we do, Neil, you'll know this from your own experience, it's all relationship-based. It's about building that network, So yes, and we're continuing to build those programmes through Emerge.
Yeah, through the 7 pillars.
Yeah.
So kind of looking at the forward objectives then, so that's obviously what you're building and developing for the next 5 years. What are the immediate 12-month priorities you've got for?
Good question. God, you are putting me in the spot today, aren't you? Luckily enough, I've just written the business plan for the next year. So
handy.
Handy. So for the next 12 months, what we're going to focus on, again, through our Emerge brand, is building a business club. Not just for Clacks, but across Forth Valley. So that's something that you and I might want to talk about as well, because I can see a role for you there, Neil. So building that business club, and that's born out of some inquiries that we've had from some of our clients. Graham Clark from Local Fudge is a good example. Looking for something a bit more kind of solid, a bit more consistent, something that we can share that platform. So we're looking at building that business club this year. We're going to build on the Skillshare program that we have at the moment from our female founders. We're going to open that up not just to female businesses or female founded or run businesses, but we're going to open that up to anybody. So it's going to go across Forth Valley. So it's men and women together. And we always said with the Merge for Women, I want to emphasise that we don't exclude men in our female run programme, but we prioritise women. But we do actually have a couple of men coming along, and they're very welcome to do so. So the priority is around the business club, the Skillshare, focusing on our business week, because we're looking to maybe introduce some awards this year, some business awards. So we're working on that plan at the moment. And of course, we have to do the day job. So, all of these things are happening on top of the day job, where we actually see clients and businesses on a regular basis.
Can you see starting a podcast in there somewhere?
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Yes. Put that into my business plan.
Great. Okay. We look forward to seeing that. Hosted in Studio King Street, I hope.
Absolutely. Great thing you have here.
So, that's a great concept for a business club. We spoke about doing that with regards to the kind of Stirling bid, just trying to give the local businesses a voice and telling people what they do, instead of obviously just kind of, especially the professional services firms and some of the guys that aren't visible on the high street.
Exactly.
They don't have a shop front, and
but it's
people don't know
also
they're there.
about building in that CPD for business founders, business owners. And again, it's about looking at your forum and what expertise you have within that forum. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend a lot of money to get something out of it, but it's exactly that. So
and it is bringing communities together, whether that's the bid
100%.
community with the Chambers community, with the Business Gateway community, with
100%.
business services.
And it's not to replace what the Chamber are doing, because the Chamber are doing great work. In fact, I sit on the board of the Forth Valley Chamber as well. So I'm supporting what they do. It's to complement what they do. Not be in competition with.
Yeah, and this podcast, I mean, they started the Member Spotlight podcast from the studio here, which Lynn's now taking over, obviously, as the interviewer, now that Abby's moved on. And obviously, from that, we've developed this podcast, which is very complementary to that. So the more people talking about Forth Valley business and Stirling-based businesses 100%. In particular, the better.
The better, absolutely. We're all in this together, as they say, Neil.
Absolutely. It's funny that. It's almost like we planned it, right?
Almost.
So, look, Maggie, it's fantastic to hear the great work that Ceteris are doing and what your function within Ceteris is delivering. And it's great to see how the different kind of groups from across the region are working so harmoniously together. So, thanks for everything you do. It's a fantastic function, and appreciate you coming along today.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to talk about Ceteris and the wraparound service that we provide. So, and if I could just say that if people do need to get in touch with us, they can go onto the website, which is www.ceteris.co.uk.
That's great. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
You take care.
You too.
So thank you again for attending the Stirling Business Podcast. Had a fantastic guest today, Maggie Gorman from Ceteris, talking about all the great things that Ceteris are doing from a business services support perspective. So until next week, we'll talk to you again then.